to a new video of my new Planet Zoo series, which we still don't have a name for yet. But if you still have a suggestion, let me know down below. But today we are making a Galapagos Tortoise habitat. It's a small start because I didn't really know what to do and what to prepare. So I've just been like building a little bit around this plaza, where you also see me now building a little fountain that's gonna be the main center of when you enter this zoo. I want to have a lot of animals on the right side here, but I also want to do a little bit restaurant and like maybe a little aviary or something like that on the left side of the plaza. But we will get that far when we get there. Though, today I am trying to build around this plaza, as you can see, and I'm trying to use some different pieces that I haven't used before, like this brick sort of set for the floor, and it actually works really well. And you can see here I'm trying to use the twilight masonry here to kind of like fill up this entire fountain, and it works really well because I'm using the fountain already and putting it in the middle here, so it kind of feels like it's part of the same thing, as you can see here right now. And it actually works very, very well. I wanted to have it open like this before. I was like, no one really has that, so I have to figure out a way to secure that no one will jump into the fountain here. So that's kind of like what I'm doing by using these hedges around it, and then afterwards I'm putting up some fencing and a little bit, and it actually works very, very well. It looks super, super cool. Before we go over to the habitat, I was trying to figure out what can I do, and my inspiration here is kind of like from Sutam, because I know as soon as you enter, we have like this on the right side where you might have a parrot, and then you have some tortoises walking around and stuff in a little section, and that's kind of like what I wanted to do here as well. So that's why I was like, let's start with the tortoise and then just go from there and see what happens. I'm actually super happy for how it turned out so far, but you guys can be the judge of that the further we go into the video here. The whole entrance, I will go back to that later. I also want to do some interior work, that's why you'll see a little bit of it is kind of like, it's not finished, and you'll see there's a few gaps between and stuff, but we will get to that section very, very soon. What I wanted to do first was literally do a little habitat, and I wanted to have it here so it kind of like goes up in a little ramp. And then I will have the facilities for the staff and stuff in there too. Like we'll have their keeper hut, staff room, and even a research center and all that stuff. I'm gonna try and keep it somewhat realistic, as I told you guys, by having habitats that looks like the ones you see in zoos, more or less. I don't know about the whole backstage stuff. We'll get to that further. And as I say, it's a contribution community park zoo, so it can be something you can help with if that's what you want to do. But for now, I'm building up this habitat. You can see I'm using the dirt to kind of like making it look super cool here, and then afterwards I'm going back in and I'm trying to do the whole thing around the tortoise here. So first I'm starting with the conservation slat. I'm putting this around here, and I'm also changing the colors a little bit, making them a little bit up and down, so it feels like they're not completely the same and it's the same textures. It's very important that you do that when you do these things, because you really notice it if you have like just 3 or 4 of the same planks and textures next to each other. But you can always cover them up with vines or ivy or even decals if that's what you want. The better it looks, But yeah, I want to do a lot more after here on the right side. Maybe we will have a little room to have some of ours, other animals, maybe the butterflies. That would be cool. But I also want to ask you, what animal do you want to see here next time? Let me know down below. I was thinking the Tasmanian devil, maybe we could do a cool habitat for, or even one of the warthogs or the pigs. But let me know what you think could be super cool to build next in this zoo here. And maybe I will have a name for next time. If not, then you'll just get this series here with no name for now. But I'm still open for many suggestions. So yeah, or maybe I'll even do a community vote in my YouTube tab to see what you guys like. I could do a little voting there as well, and then lots of you could see it as well. But we'll get to that section. So what I'm doing here is that I'm closing up the backside here before I used the wooden planks here, and it actually works super well because I go in and I recolor them, obviously, and then we can kind of slowly see like the whole section of the habitat here, which I really like. Since it's tortoise, they don't need a lot, they don't need water, so they literally just need a little bit of a small area to walk around in, and that's kind of like what I'm doing here. I'm obviously redecorating a lot of the habitat fencing with some wood pieces and stuff, making it all feel very generic and like it fits here. It was very difficult for me first to figure out which way I wanted to go here, also because realistic stuff and realism is not my forte, but I'm trying to do like the best that I can with this. So yeah, I'm having fun so far, and I'm definitely can't wait to start on another habitat and see where that takes us. And the more and more we build, the better it will be, right? As you can see a little bit on the right side, I did a little bit on stream as well. A little bit of a tower to get it like to poke out from the entrance in the background, and then I started a little bit of some toilet facilities and stuff, and it actually works very well too, but we will get to that as well later on in the series. For now, I just want to let you know that this is what happens, and I also want you guys to figure out what animal habitat you want to see next. I really like these North African plasters here. If you put them like this, it really looks like a very nice curve to the pathing, and I think it works very well for this. And then here I'm just kind of adding a little bit of an extra line towards it so people can walk this way, and making it a little bit more plain and nice. So, but yeah, we're getting very close to the end here now of building the whole surroundings of the habitat, and then afterwards we're gonna go in and start decorating the habitat and see what the tortoise need. That's also what I mean by realistic. I'm gonna try keep the habitats like in a very small like way, like you see in zoos, for example. It's not gonna be a Hobbiton Zoo where literally a habitat is huge. We're gonna try to focus at least on having it looking like it would look in a realistic zoo. And Zoo Tampa and Copenhagen Zoo are most likely my biggest influences here, even though it is very Tampa and Florida vibes I'm gonna go for, but I'm gonna take a few hints and there from each park or zoo and see how it goes. And also you can see here putting in the Galapagos Tortoise now, and they're gonna vibe very well in here. As you can see, I'm trying to add some water, but I was like, no, you know what? They don't need it. I just want to give them as much room they can to roam around in here. And then I went in and I hired a janitor and zookeepers and all that stuff, and it actually worked very well. So now it is the fun part we're doing, decorating the inside of the habitat. I'm a big fan of this, and it really looks very nice the more terrain work you do, especially using the terrain colors. As you can see here, doing a little bit of tall grass, a little bit of sand, a little bit of stone, and then it actually looks super well, kind of like I wanted to have it looking. Putting it some interspecies stuff here, well, I wanted to, but we was like, maybe it's not a good idea to do that, because I want this to be only tortoise, and I want this to be a little bit of an intro to the whole zoo. And then, as I say, we are gonna make them go further over to the right side, and then we'll have something over there, maybe a big a butterfly house or something like that. It would be really cool. But yeah, I'm getting ready here to mix up some stuff, putting in their sleeping pattern here, and then later on in the video I'm gonna make it a little bit of a, how can you say, like a little bit of a hatch, so they can go in there and then they can close it off. And I'm gonna do more stuff in behind here where the keepers and all that stuff goes, but that is not mainly my point today. Today is my point to make this tortoise habitat and get started on some animals. And I will be building on this further on into a stream as well, which is kind of like the whole concept of this series, which is a little bit on stream, a little bit on YouTube, and then it'll be a big collaboration. Well, a small collaboration, because it's not going to be a big zoo. I also read a few comments from the first video, and yes, the entrance is not gonna have a huge sign that's gonna ruin the entire concept. I want to have it standing like on a little maybe on a little edge on the side of the entrance, and then also when you get inside the zoo as well. I think that would look a lot better. So here I'm kind of improvising because I wanted to have something over here to not just have it as a square building. So I went straight away to detail it and design it, because the inside here is gonna be our souvenir, which is also what you see when you go inside the zoo. You see a lot of these are at the entrance, especially at Zoo Tampa. There's like 2 or 3 big souvenir stores or shops, and I kind of want to do the concept of that. I haven't done any interior shops in that sense yet, but I'm hoping that I can do that later on, and I'm hoping maybe I can see how people did it and do them myself, because that would be super cool to have that here. So this is just detailing honestly around here, and honestly here I'm doing a little bit of a prettier entrance to the keeper and all that entrance here, because it didn't look very well for me. I wanted it to look a little bit more nice, so eventually I detailed it with a little bit nice roof tire and a door and etc. But you'll get to see that as well. I also like to do this here because it kind of gives it a little bit of a nice touch, a little bit divides the pathing a little bit. So I'm kind of doing this here as well, making it look a little bit nice for the keepers as well to walk around here. And it really works well. Like here on the right side, we could have another habitat or something like that. I also have a lot of people working on some stuff. I know Dandy is working on a little bit of a tiki restaurant in a sense, so I'm really looking forward to that one, like a tiki hut. And then afterwards we're gonna see what else other people can offer and build for us to this series here, which is super nice. I will mainly do all the habitats and etc. But like small things like shops and a little bit of facility or just scenery pieces, everything goes, honestly. And obviously have to work in for the desired architecture that we're doing here, like the Florida cracker, the keys, like the Mediterranean kind of style. So that's very important to keep. But besides that, you can see we're slowly getting there with the whole habitat here, and I really like it. Really like it. The coverage is a little bit much, but it doesn't bother them. They're still happy in here, and the space could maybe be a little bit bigger, but I found out that they don't need that much space either way, so it is good. We kind of worked this out pretty well. As you can see, a little bit of vines on the rocks here, and just having a big open spot for them to walk around, so the guests also can see these fellas here walking around the little habitat, which is really nice. As you can see here, putting some leaves, a little bit of extra foliage, and then we're pretty much getting closer to have the habitat itself finished. I'm doing a little bit more stuff in the back, but it's not a lot, honestly. As you can see, getting it some more railings here on each sides. Thought it would look kind of cool, and then we're topping it off with a little plank to give it that little wood and architectural style to the whole vibe here. And I kind of like that. I kind of like how that turns out and how it looks with it. Because it was very difficult for me in the start to figure out what can I do to make it look nice and like it's one, you know, instead of all these different textures that I started having. So I kind of did this here with this, and it actually worked out very well. As you can see, it looks really nice now, especially with the railing going over it, and it's just super nice because we don't really have to have a crazy railing or fence towards these tortoises here, because if someone eventually should go in, it is not a big deal. But we're trying to keep it at least safe for the animals here, so that is very nice. Before we go to the last part of the video, you'll see me fiddle around with these little things here all the way around and just trying to make everything look nice and finished, so we don't have any unfinished areas for the habitat inside. I told you the outside, before you go into, I will go back to that section just in a few, and then here you can see I'm using a lot more planks to finish off the whole fencing and the habitat around it. As I see here, I'm duplicating this guy, and then afterwards I'm putting up a little extra roof thing on it that actually works very well, if I have to say so myself. And that's kind of like why I just went with it and did this. And you can see doing all this around here really gives the buildings a little bit extra touch. And I really like how that does, especially give it a lot more depth too, you know. So yeah, we have a roof topper here I'm using. Perfect, actually works very well. And then afterwards I'm kind of working out how to add like the hatch I told you about and the little door to their entrance here. Also gonna have some signs and some banners, all that stuff, but that will be maybe a little bit further into the series when we have a little bit more stuff to make posters of. So that's pretty much what we're gonna do and what we're doing today. Closing up here, making them feel like it actually completely closed so they can't go in or out. Make it sure of that. And then here we're gonna do that little hatch I told you about that feels like it can close whenever they go into sleep, which is my whole purpose here. Because I've seen that before as well, and I feel like that's a little bit realistic, at least a good vibe for that. And this will also train me to build more realistic habitats and kind of like think about how the animals could care and roam in a zoo like this. So also, if you have any suggestions on what to do, please let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to continue to follow this series here, and also join the Discord if you want to follow along a lot other stuff. Remember, I'm also doing this on Twitch, so if there's any interest, you should come by and join me there as well, where we can talk live, and then you can give me some suggestions as well while I build this awesome zoo. As you can see here, this is kind of like what I meant, me decorating this part here for the employees, so they can kind of like go in and out here. And I'm obviously going to put in no staff or no people here, only staff and etc. signs, but I'm saying that's going to be a little bit further into the series when I got enough of all this stuff here. But yeah, that's pretty much episode 2 today, guys. Let me know what you think and all your suggestions, and let me hear what animal you want next time. Tasmanian devil, pigs, or do you kind of want me to do a completely third animal? If you have suggestions, let me know down below, and then I will see you guys in my next video, which will be next week again. And then yeah, maybe even on stream if you want to see me build more of this guy here too. So yeah, anyways, leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.